compass so you don't get lost, using the paths around you, of course, as well, and a map. This is a map of a good section of the wilderness in New Hampshire. If you don't have a map, that's alright. That's what a compass is for, you know? It really is the most important of the two. I'd rather have a compass than a map, because eventually your map's going to run out and you're not going to know where you're going. Compass, you always know where you're going, at least on the cardinal directions. Now let's talk about how we meet the need out of our backpack. Okay, I've got my wool blanket, got my tarp tucked in there, I have a hammock tucked into the other side. So my bedroll really just distills down to shelter and bedding. Fire, warmth, cooking, regardless of the weather outside. You know, I can make fire with magnifying glass, bow drill, I can make fire with ferro rod, matches, and flint steel. Water. Alright, I've got 2 nesting cups. I use a Crusader and the military USGI American. I think it's the best way to go over there. Gives me 2 large cups, basically in the space of 1. I also use, for my water, I use 2 dry bags. Basically I use one for raw water straight from the water source I can carry into camp. These are both 5-liter bags, and then after I've boiled it, I dump it into the second bag, so then I have a reservoir of clean, good to go water. That is a lot more than just what I can hold in my canteen. I found that that's really key, you know, when you're out there doing this every single day, being able to have the ability to camp up on a hill away from your water source, right, and still have raw water with you without having to walk down every single time you want to process water is key. The other half of the equation is after I process it, I want to be able to hold more than I can drink. I want to be able to hold more than I can even hold in my canteen and things like that, because that fills up quick. That's where the second bag comes into play. And I never mix the two. Raw water is always raw water, and disinfected boiled water is always in that bag. The other side of that water equation is my pot. I use this to obviously disinfect the water to boil. Keep some tissues in there that I use as toilet paper when it's wet out. I usually just use leaves, but when it's real wet and, you know, like nasty outside, I don't want to be, you know, wiping myself with, you know, wet leaves. That's never fun. You know, they can harbor bacteria, things like that. You don't want to use rocks because you can get ringworm, things like that. So I use this as like kind of last ditch when it's real awful outside. I use that. Here's my bandana. Inside there I use to filter my water.